Moving on, we have the Louisville Cardinals. They are an 8-point favorite against Georgia Tech. The game is being played in Atlanta, but not at Bobby Dodd Stadium. They are playing it at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Boo. Play that one at Bobby Dodd, please. But you have an over-under of 49.5 points. The Lines.com College Football Podcast is also now available on the WDRB Plus app in Louisville and around Kentucky as sports betting launches this year, in addition to YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. So that's a fun programming announcement. Welcome to the people of Louisville. Thanks for tuning in. We are super happy to be talking to you right now. This game, Louisville versus Georgia Tech, kicks off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Like I said, it's a quote-unquote neutral site game. I suppose they can fit more people in the stands there. This is the debut for Jeff Brom and the new-look Cardinals, who brought in a ton of transfers, not to be overshadowed by Colorado. Georgia Tech decided to keep Brent Keon, the interim, after he went 4-4 to finish out last year. It was impressive. They had a win over North Carolina, a pretty solid team at the end of the year there. My numbers see value in Louisville. My aggregated power rating see value in Louisville here. I favor them by about 12. But I'd be patient since you're looking at 7.5 to 9. Those are dead numbers. They can move a couple of points either way. You're not really losing a whole lot of value there. But it does spook me a little to see this number so short, in my opinion, and not budging. On the Georgia Tech sideline, though, we do have Haynes King, the Texas A&M transfer, who will start for them. That has been confirmed. And they also have a familiar face at running back to those that are Cardinal diehards. Trey Cooley, running back, is a Louisville transfer himself. But I said I got spooked by this short number. Kelly, what do your ratings say about the game?
Yeah, first, Brett, this is my number 9 game of the week in terms of watchability and the components that go into that formula for me. So my numbers have this as Louisville -9. I have Louisville power rated number 39 overall coming into this year with a number 21 projected defense and the number 51 projected offense here in Jeff Brom's first year. Georgia Tech, power rated number 74 overall with a number 59 projected defense and number 94 projected offense. So both teams have stronger defenses than offenses, and I expect a very even matchup between the Louisville offense and the Georgia Tech defense. The difference for me, though, Brett, is the number 21 Louisville defense, as I said, going against that number 94 Georgia Tech offense.
Yeah, to touch on the Louisville offense, Brom was pretty pass-heavy at Purdue. He had a couple of good quarterbacks who was able to do that. But an important note, Jamari Thrash, who Georgia State transfer receiver coming in, he's reportedly lining up in the same position that David Bell and Charlie Jones had lined up in. I guess it's their apex receiver, their top guy, their favorite target to go to. He is lining up in that same spot here. Georgia Tech is a pretty solid core of defensive backs. They brought in a couple of transfers. They should be pretty sound back there. But I'm a buyer in Jamari Thrash. I think he's a terrific land in the transfer portal. So I may look over his receiving yards when player props drop. That's probably going to be Thursday or Friday, later on. But I expect big things from Jamari Thrash, even against a pretty solid Georgia Tech secondary.
Yeah, hard to argue there, Brett. From a scheduling perspective, both of these teams host FCS foes in week 2, with Murray State heading to Louisville and South Carolina State heading to Atlanta. So all eyes, all focus for these teams should be on this ACC game. Fun fact about Louisville's schedule, the Cardinals are the only team in FBS that play fewer than 4 true road games in 2023. Now, again, I'm counting this one as a neutral site, even though they are going to the home city of their opponent. But Louisville is on the road at NC State in Week 5, Pitt in Week 7, and Miami in Week 12. They obviously have this neutral site game as we're terming it against Georgia Tech here in Week 1, and then they get Indiana at a neutral site in Week 3, but only 3 true road games as defined by, FBS schedules and by people out there. So that's the fewest in all of FBS, something to keep an eye on for Louisville this year. And then final thing for the Cardinal fans, since I know this will be shared on the WDRB+, as things stand, I have Louisville with a 22% chance to make the ACC championship game. That's third best in the conference, behind only Clemson and Florida State. All else equal, a win for the Cardinals here in Week 1 increases their chances to 26%, while a loss would decrease their chances all the way down to 9%. Again, the numbers like Louisville in this game, they're not expecting a loss, which is why the negative impact of a loss is greater than the positive impact of a win. But 22% now, that bumps up to 26%, all else equal with a win. Bottom line, my numbers have Louisville -9 in this neutral site game, which equates to a 73% win expectancy for the Cardinals.
I'd really like to expand on this weird schedule. I love college football travel. I love stadiums, and I love scheduling quirks like this. Not only does Louisville only play, you said, 3 true road games, but 2 of those true road games are in NFL stadiums anyway, at Pitt and at Miami. So they play 1 true FBS away stadium, NC State, and that game's played on a Friday. So they will play 0 road games at FBS stadiums on Saturdays this year. Nice job, Louisville. Excellent, excellent scheduling there. The only injury note in this game, starting safety, MJ Griffin, he's out for the season for Louisville. That is a big impact for the defense, but nothing that's going to be changing point spreads or anything like that. I probably lean Louisville and the points here. Feels like one of those games where you look back on and say, oh, well, of course they ran away with it, right? Like Georgia Tech was clearly outmatched in this one. If you look at the implied point total for the Cardinals, it's 28.25. If I can find 28 or under for Louisville team total, that's probably something that's going to interest me. I think that they'll be able to move the football. You said the offense and defense are pretty evenly matched, but I do trust Jack Plummer. I do trust the athletes. I like Jamari Thrash on Louisville a little bit more, I think, than I trust Georgia Tech's defense. And I'd only take that 28 if it wasn't juiced to crazy number, minus 160, or you know how they do that sometimes. So